to get the rice going. There we go. Two cups of water. Going a little healthy and going with wild rice. So while that goes, what we'll do, I'm gonna slide that down a little bit. Chop up my pepper. I'm a big fan of peppers. So we got our peppers chopped, we've got our water boiling for our rice. Rice is ready to go. We've got some shrimp, we've got some scallops, and we have some garlic sausage. So put all that together, it should be pretty yummy. Now had I been thinking, I would have done the water in the jet boil and just done the rice all in the jet boil. It would have been a lot faster. All right, so we got our peppers cut, our sausage cut, our shrimp peeled and ready to go, our scallops ready to go, and the rice is doing its thing. Once the rice is ready, we're going to take all of this and fry her up, and we're going to use a little bit of this Louisiana Cajun. It's going to be sort of like my spin on a jambalaya. So now I'm faced with the dilemma of having such a small frying pan. So luckily with this meal, I think I can get away with, as the rice sits there, I can get away with cooking everything in stages and just adding it to the pot. So here we go. I think I'll start with the sausage first. And the reason for the sausage first is because theoretically it's the most flavorful bit of this meal. So all of the juices will get into the pan, and then as I cook the other ingredients, those juices will be absorbed by the other ones. That's my thought. I'm gonna get these guys all nice and juicy. Get all of that greasy fat oozing out of there. This is what you're looking for, the nice little sort of browning on the edges there. Surprisingly enough, there's not a lot of grease coming off of these things. Okay, so now once I have those done, I'm going to take and add them to the rice, and then I think I will start with the peppers. Then I've got some olive oil spray. Get some of that in there. And we'll just quickly flash up these peppers. Now I personally like my peppers with a bit of crunch. So really I'm just sort of heating them up. So yeah, just to the point where these guys are starting to sweat. That's typically a good time to fire them into here. So we'll throw those in the pot. Get that lid on. Now I'm going to quickly do the shrimp. Now the shrimp is already pre-cooked, so it really just needs to be heated up and seasoned slightly. A little seasoning in there. Yummy, yummy. And really I'm just trying to make these guys warm because they were previously frozen. So I just want to heat them up. And what's happening is the water that's coming from them is forming a bit of a gravy, a bit of a sauce. As you can see right there. A little bit of a sauce happening there. And they're starting to sizzle. You got to be careful with pre-frozen shrimp, pre-cooked shrimp, because if you do it too long, it just gets chewy and becomes like stale bubblegum. So you got to try and keep it dancing around. But I'll show you in a second, it's starting to take on the orange color of the spices, which is what shrimp does. It's basically a sponge, absorbs all the flavors, and I think we're pretty good there. Quickly show you. So they went kind of orange. So that means they've absorbed some of the flavor of the spices. I'll put them in the pot. I'm going to leave the juices in. Juices in the pan, that is. Because those juices will help the scallops along. Just going to add a little more olive oil. And now the scallops. Scallops don't take very long at all. Basically want to do it so that they're not translucent anymore. Get that solid white color. But again, with scallops, you don't want to go too long. Otherwise they get really hard and chewy. So we keep them dancing around, trying to cook them as evenly as possible. And I think now's a good time to add a little more seasoning to those guys. Like that. Well, I'm definitely used to cooking on the jet boil rather than this other stove. This stove here is a little bit slower, which is good for other things. But I think I would have preferred the jet boil, the stove attachment, because I needed that instant heat super fast right now. But it'll work out. I'm sure it'll work out. Okay, we get these guys dancing around still. Oh, these are smelling delicious. If you're ever curious about how you're doing, just take one, take your spatula, try and split it in half. If it looks solid white all the way through, you know you're good. If you see any clear, you know you need to go just a little longer. And I had picked up the salad, but I think I'll save this for tomorrow night, because this is going to be a lot of food. That's the hardest part about cooking for yourself. Is most things, when you purchase at a store, are family size or 2 portion size at the very least. So this would be why I typically only eat 1 meal a day on the road, because the meals are so huge. So I open that guy up and you can see it's like pretty much solid right through. That means that scallop is done. So having said that, what we do, so we now take our pot, we're going to turn that guy off, and we're going to add all the scallops to it, like that. Make sure we get as many of the drippings as possible in there as well, because that is where all your flavor is. Set that aside. Now we're just going to try and mix this up. So the only thing missing, I would say, would be something green, I guess. Maybe I could have gone with a green pepper rather than a red pepper. I prefer the red peppers though. And just like that, you have yourself a really tasty take on jambalaya. Ba-da-da! Yummy. And then you can always obviously season to taste after. Add more of this if you want. The frozen shrimp came with a marinara. You could fire that in there too if you want. I think I'm gonna have it just like this. Oh yeah. Oh, good call on the wild rice. Yep. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to be eating like a king right now. So, thanks for tuning in. Oh, can't even talk.